Director James Mangold did a sit-down interview with The Hollywood Reporter where he dished a lot on Indiana Jones 5 and the Dial of Destiny, thus proving that he has really drank the Kool-Aid. Stick around to the end of the video to see just how bad it gets. So we start right off with them asking about how he's going to deal with the Indiana Jones character being older, since Harrison Ford is older. And here we go. He says, "It's not just a movie about a hero in his twilight years who is called back into action. It's more than just that his bones might ache, it's that his soul might ache, or that some of his optimism or sense of fitting into the world might have evaporated." Yeah, it's just like Luke Skywalker all over again. Mangold exposing the fact that he knows nothing at all about the character of Indiana Jones or the reason people go to movies. If you want to see a bitter old person who's crusted and lost hope and aches in their soul, walk down the street. That's not why we go to the movie. We go to see the better of us, the thing to ascribe to. So having a elderly Indiana Jones who is positive, who is happy, should be what you're writing to. That's the goal. That's what the paying audience wants to see. The fact that you don't understand that makes me wonder, what on earth are you doing in the entertainment industry? Doubling down, Mangold goes on to say, quote, "The mistake you can make in movies, and we've all seen movies like this, is where someone is of a ripe age, but the entire movie is continuing this charade along with them that they're not that old." With this statement, Mangold reveals what he really thinks, and that's that somehow old people should be treated with kid gloves. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have a movie where there's an 80 or 90-year-old person who is, running away from or chasing down, young punks in their 20s, yes, that of course breaks the willing suspension of disbelief. On the other hand, you could just have the character, like any other character, go through their life engaging in activity and challenges just like everyone else would. You don't have to treat them with kid gloves just because they're older. That doesn't make any sense, and quite honestly, is insulting to old people. So in talking about the first three Indiana Jones movies, he said, "They all easily fit with the serialized, theatrical, almost screwball action style of the movies that were being released in the period they're set in." I'm a bit of a movie buff. I've seen a lot of movies during the time period the first two films took place in, but hey, don't believe me? Let's pull up a list of some of the films that came out, those, screwball action films during the time period the first two Indiana Jones films were set. So let's take a look at those screwball action films that came out during that time. We've got Casablanca, Double Indemnity. Oh, look at that. Citizen Kane, arguably the greatest film of all time. The Philadelphia Story, Hitchcock's Shadow of a Doubt. Oh, The Maltese Falcon, yes, very screwball. His Girl Friday from Howard Hawks. And would you look at that, The Great Dictator. Oh, quite the well-known screwball action film. So after that stunner, Mangold spouts off with, how do you move forward into new decades where the world is no longer seen in such clear demarcations of black and white and good and evil, where the whole concept of raiding tombs and fighting over relics is looked at in a different way? All right, this is one of the biggest fails for Mangold, from the simple concept that we are watching escapist entertainment, A. B, far more importantly, the character of Indiana Jones is a man, is a masculine man, a manly man. These are things that are good and valued and cherished, not horrible, awful, terrible things like Mangold seems to think. The reason why is simple. To Indiana Jones as a character, to any man worth anything, many things are black and white. They are simple once you strip away all the BS. Because here's a little lesson for you, Mangold. I'm going to explain it in terms that even you will understand. It is very easy for you, I'm sure, Mangold, and for us to say Nazis were bad. That's black and white, right? Now, if I were to say to you, oh, Xi Jinping in China is bad, or Vladimir Putin in Russia is bad, you'll come at me with a whole slew of BS about, well, they did this for their people, and you can't say that, it's great. Guess what, James? In 1938, there were a lot of people saying, oh, well, Hitler's not bad. Well, he's done these things for his people. It hasn't changed. The world isn't different. What's different is that back then, men were able to strip away the bullshit and say, no, not good. Just as men today, and as history will show, are going to be able to look back and see that Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin are not good. Period. End of story. Now, are they maniacal monsters like Adolf Hitler who killed millions of people? No. But that still doesn't make them not bad. And that's where Mangold fails miserably on every level to understand how men work, how masculinity works, how the world works, and then the icing on the cake, possibly a nod to Tomb Raider, I'm not sure, is this bullshit about how, we view, acquisition of relics is different these days, blah, blah, blah. No, actually, we don't. At the end of the day, there may be some more money. There may be some more behind-the-scenes deal. There may be some more involvement with museums. But at the end of the day, relics are still taken, not nearly as much, because a lot have been collected, from one and given to the other. It's that simple. So after that stunner, Mangold spouts off with, how do you move forward into new decades where the world is no longer seen in such clear demarcations of black and white and good and evil, where the whole concept of raiding tombs and fighting over relics is looked at in a different way. And with that statement right there, Mangold brings it all home. He shows that he not only has a very negative and sort of insulting view of older people, but he has absolutely no concept or clue as to the Indiana Jones character. I made the argument that maybe he hasn't even seen the films. Well, actually, he has. And the reason I know that is this. The Indiana Jones character was not the person who took the easiest way out. I'm sorry, but taking an idol, running from a boulder, running through the forest, that's not the easy way out. The easy way out, honestly, is to not do anything. Or to pause, be more cautious, etc., etc. That wasn't it. What this was, no doubt at all, is the one scene in the Indiana Jones film where Indy is faced with a horde of individuals with knives, and he takes out a gun and shoots. Behind the scenes, by this point, we all know that it was just nothing more than an ad-lib from Harrison Ford, who was sick and tired of doing shot after shot after shot. And hey, it was brilliant, it worked, Spielberg kept it, etc., etc. But Mangold has decided that that is the defining characteristic, despite the evidence all around of everything else. This is why Mangold is a complete idiot who has just lost his ability. I know he's got a lot of good cred for his previous projects. I myself loved Logan. But clearly, he's drank the Kool-Aid, he's lost his mind, and if there is any doubt that Indiana Jones is going to be a complete travesty, this is laid to rest. That, however, is merely my opinion. What is yours? Let's talk about it. Obey your king. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification icon.